Hello everybody, I'm /MVC. Let's read the patch notes from 9.29 and 9.30 for Cataclysm: The Last Generation. Looks like the team has been quite busy. I'll read these in order because I missed the September 29th update and the September 30th just came out. So here we go. Update, Steam sale, and save compression. A. Krieger from over at Dark Days Ahead stepped up to help with backporting save compression, a feature I've been working on bringing over from there for quite some time now. With this, you can make your save file dramatically smaller. I recommend using a backup of your directory first, just in case we haven't got all the wrinkles worked out. But once you're ready, you can go to Worlds on the title screen, select your world, and hit Toggle Save Compression. That's it. This will cease being an option and will just happen manually, or automatically, I think they mean, once we're confident it's not causing any issues. At NICH518 fixed the yoke harness recipe for Innawood, which was looking for an obsoleted item. Innawood may still throw an error about eggs on launch, but you should be able to simply ignore it. At Abe submitted some typo fixes for mounted workshops and utility kits. As part of the save compression backports, rivers have been literally streamlined and will now flow in more logical directions, producing fewer jagged turns and weird map edge cutoffs. There are fewer rivers overall, but they tend to cover larger distances. Fixed an issue where smash attacks from hulks and other similar creatures were throwing the player not far enough or a preposterous distance. Sheaths can now hold only one item as intended. Added billboards. What? I can't wait to see the billboards. Fixed up several map gen issues. Added a toggle for wiring display on walls, so your base doesn't look terrible just because you ran some wiring. Thank you so much. Revamped gun mod slots, removing several nonsensical ones from guns that ought not to have them and adding ones that should reasonably exist on guns that should. This is still slightly a work in progress, and there are probably a couple of oddities. Aren't there always? E-files will now flag as used or unused, depending on whether you've read them or not. This is a big one. This is huge right here. Huge. Added the M224 mortar. This device requires some launcher skill to operate, but once set up, it allows the player to launch mortar shells a tremendous distance, many overmap tiles away. I'm still fine-tuning the damage these do, as I'd like them to leave proper craters, and currently they often don't. They sure do blow up cars and zombies, though. Oh, man. Audited a bunch of clothing for rain protection. Most leather gear should now keep you reasonably dry in the rain if it's in the form of something like pants or a jacket, and several other pieces of outerwear should help keep you warmer than they did before. I always packed a garbage bag rain jacket myself. Rural churches have less random loot lying around in them, and they now have a chance to have some environmental storytelling instead of just being empty. Cool. Removed tanned hide. This was the exact same as leather sheet, but all recipes randomly called for either one or the other. Now they're combined into a single item, and tailoring should be that much less confusing. Fixed a bunch of trash spawns, including removing most of the random engines that appeared in the road. Thank you so much. Oh. Added a drive-through restaurant. Revamped the military outpost. Fixed an issue where riot damage was accidentally spawning fires and blood in some places. We're not currently using the riot damage system, so this was an error. Updated the island prison quest. The quest giver will now tell you the actual name of the island item they want, and make it clear that it's in the chief's office, not the warden's. Those are different people. Fixed an issue where swapping places with an NPC in a car would throw an error. Removed most of the fake and inferior medieval weapons and moved this system over to be done via a flag. These weapons will now have the word replica in their name and will do greatly reduced damage. As before, they're not totally worthless unless you don't have something better handy. This is big. Updated mansion loot tables to pull from pretty much all the medieval weaponry we have, rather than the small selection it previously had. Mansion weapons presently have a 1 in 20 chance of being the genuine article, though this is likely to change. That's a biggie. Re-added the "you could use it to craft" information to item displays. This no longer shows up in the main panel, but is now an option in the Item Actions context menu under C for crafting. If you would like to see crafting options for an item you don't currently have access to, open the normal crafting menu, press F or / to access the filter, and use the filter tag for component, and then type the name of the item you want to search. It will return all known crafts which use it. That was by request, I believe. I saw a discussion thread for that on Steam. People were saying, come on, man, I can't see the you could use it to craft portion, and I can't memorize the whole Hitchhiker's Guide to the Cataclysm, so Wormgirl worked on that a little bit. Thank you. I didn't really care either way, but it's pretty cool. All right, so fixed this is Quick Fixes 930. So fixed a couple of errors that were, oops, now I've done it. Oh, all I did was change the background somehow. That was weird. Anyway, fixed a couple of errors that were randomly causing crashes. Silenced 2 very common error messages that weren't really player relevant. Fixed eggs in the Megafauna mod, which should stop the error messages. Gave smartwatches a way to store files. Gave AR glasses an e-transfer speed and moved them to share a layer with the other types of eyeglasses, so they can now be worn with fit-over sunglasses or night vision goggles. Backported a fix to vehicle placement, which should prevent most cases of random bits of vehicles spawning on the road. At Abe fixed an issue where gelled gasoline and napalm weren't showing up properly in recipe lists. Zombies and other creatures which can't swim and don't breathe will now sink under deep water, becoming invisible unless you're underwater, very close to them, or they're large or huge, in which case they are too tall to be submerged. Wow, that's big. All right, so that's all I've got for that right now. I got another episode coming out in 2 days, and it's going to be a very special one. It's a little shorter than normal. Don't worry about that, though. It's no big deal. But well, I don't want to spoil it. But I will say this: that the episode itself has warning spoilers plastered all over the thumbnail. So if you don't want to be spoiled on some new content, don't watch the next episode, which then after that we'll be playing under the 930 patch. So hope you got something out of this. I know I did. I'll see you in the next episode, or I'll see you in the comments in the meantime. What do you think about some of these changes to the last generation? Let's talk about this. Take care.